today. I'm bound to show you how. Tiropitakia made today. Yeah, don't go out today. I'm gonna show you how. Tiropitakia made today. Good morning and happy Saturday to everyone. It's been a while, hasn't it? Well, last week I made some Tiropitakia and I put them on my Facebook page, and I've had a lot of friends requesting the recipe and how do I make them. Well, here we go. I'm going to show you. So let's start. You're going to need flour. There's roughly about 300 grams of flour there. You're going to need a satchel of yeast, or 8 grams if you got bulk yeast. You're going to need about 200 grams of Greek yogurt, a couple of eggs, some oil, milk, warm milk, some melted butter, and pretty much sugar and salt. The sugar is so you can activate the yeast. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a soup spoon or a spoonful of sugar. I'm going to add my yeast. Now that's about 8 grams. I'm going to add my milk. Now this milk's warm because it will help activate the yeast. If you put cold milk in it, it won't work. Pour it all in there. You just let it mix it up a bit and let it ferment. Once it starts bubbling, you know that the yeast has been activated. Right, so now the yeast is activated, and I'll see if I can bring it to you guys so you can see. I don't have lots of camera angles, but you can probably see the difference in colour. That's the yeast activated, so that's good enough for us to get moving and carry on with the rest of the ingredients. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pour the olive oil. There's about 50 mils of olive oil in here, so I'll pour that in there. And I've got about 50 grams of butter. I'll pour that in there too. Okay, I'll put them in the sink. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is going to add the yogurt. Use Greek yogurt, whatever brand fancies you, doesn't matter. And just stir it in. Stir it all in until it all mixes. And then what we're going to do next is I'm going to add a pinch of salt in there. Salt it to your own taste, but I normally do a couple of pinches. And then we'll start adding the flour to the mix. So just add, flour as you go. Don't do it all at once because you want it to mix. And start stirring. Bench. What we're going to do is just knead it a little bit. Okay, what we're going to do now is a bit of flour in the in the bowl. Take the dough. That's beautiful. So we're going to put it in here. I'll coat it with a bit of flour too. There you go. And we're going to let this rest. And while it's resting, I'm going to clean up this mess and I'll pull out the cheeses that we're going to use. Okay guys, so while the dough is resting, I'm going to show you what cheeses I use. So, I use Feta, haloumi, and Gruyere cheese. And I add oregano, and I finally chop some mint and white pepper. Today, I haven't done this before, but today I'm also going to add a little bit of nutmeg in there too. So, we'll see how we go. I'm going to add an egg too, so I'll just get an egg out of the fridge and I'll add an egg to help it bind. So what you do, you grab your Feta cheese. I'm not going to use all of that. I'll cut a piece. The oregano, that's homegrown oregano too, and some mint, store bought. Yeah, our mint's not very healthy at the moment at home, so, and then I'm going to crack an egg in it. This is the other ingredient that I told you that I haven't used before, but I will now, because I remember Mum using it in her cheese pie, so, and it wasn't bad. I think that will be enough. And obviously white pepper. Make sure it's well mixed. You don't want to get a clump, or just oregano or mint. You want all the cheeses to be well combined, and that's pretty good. It's got a good consistency. We've got our 3 cheese mix with the oregano, mint, and nutmeg and white pepper. Beautiful. Okay guys, it's time. The dough's risen and we can start making our Tiropitakia. So what I'm going to do is lightly flour the bench. I'm going to grab the dough, put it on here. Oh yeah, look at that, nice and fluffy. Just going to turn it over a little bit just to stretch it. We don't want to do it too much. You want to keep it nice and fluffy. So, a bit more flour on the bench. I'm going to cut this into 2. That's about halfway. I'll put one back in the bowl, and you don't want it to dry, so actually what I'm going to do is get some cellophane and wrap it in cellophane. Okay, we can put that aside and let it sit. Put that there, close this door, and we've got our first lightly again. Just work it very lightly. Beautiful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this roughly 12 into 12 balls. Just like that. Roll it. Didn't stretch this one, did I? Yeah. My balls, I actually made 9 balls. I said 12 earlier. It's 9 because I'm doing 2 different designs, so I've split it in half. So I actually made more than what I normally make. So now that we've got the balls, we're just gonna lightly flour the bench again. Just going to grab some flour, lightly flour it, place your ball down there, and then just squash it. Add a bit of flour if you need it, so that the rolling pin doesn't stick, and then just roll it. Roll it out. Don't worry about too much about making it a perfect circle. It's not what we're after. Alright, and once you rolled it out to roughly that size here, we'll roll it now like this amongst itself, like a cigar, and then pinch the ends so they're nicely joined. Stretch it out, and then we're going to grab the rolling pin. They're going to roll this way, and then from the center roll out this way till we get a nice elongated bit of dough. Important, roughly about a finger away. Do a little dent. Cut this into 3 strips. Oopsie daisy, that wasn't very nice. Here we go again. Into 3 strips. And then what we'll do, grab the 2 outer ones. I didn't cut that far enough. Stretch them out like this, a bit like making croissants. Bring that out, bring the next one out, and then do that, bring them around like that. See, I don't know if you can see that, but it's roughly, you're going to end up with a piece like this. You grab some of your cheese, you put it in there, and you start rolling. There you got it. You got a nice, beautiful croissant style Tiropitakia. Just repeat that again. Don't worry about perfection. Yeah, they'll all look good once they come out of the oven. Rolling it. Pinch the ends. Yep. And we roll that way. Roll this way, keep on going. slice. Them all out like that. And the final one out there. Beautiful. Add your cheese and roll. Here's another one. Okay guys, I've done my first batch, as you can see. Beautiful. What I'm going to do now, before we put them in the oven, I've been preheating the oven at about 160 degrees. I'm using fan force. We want to coat these with egg yolk. So what I did, I beat an egg yolk with a little bit of milk. And now we're going to totally coat these. And they'll give them a nice colour. Again, a bit of an egg bath. And now we're going to put them in the oven. Roughly about 20 minutes, and they should be ready. So while they're cooking, we'll start with the next lot. So the next lot, they're going to look a little bit like croissants. We'll roll this out like a pizza, if you like. Just going to work it a little bit. Like we worked the other day. Stretch it, stretch it. You don't want to overstretch it. That's pretty good. Roll it out. Don't have to be perfect with it. The dough like that, we get our pizza cutter, cut it. Cut it again. Like I said, don't try for perfection. That's plenty. We're going to get quite a few out of that one. Huh. Simple. Get this out. Just like you do croissants. Put your cheese. And roll. Squeeze the ends. Try and squeeze the ends so you don't lose the cheese. Sensation. Alright, so what we're going to do now that we've done these, we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to coat them with egg so they get that really nice colour. Okay, now it's a waiting game. Alright guys, the first batch is done. Look at that. Look at that. How yum is that? Beautiful. That didn't take long. Alright, so now let these cool. And we're going to put the next batch in. About another 15-20 minutes and we'll be done. And we'll be doing the taste test. So can't wait. So there you have it guys. Fluffy Tiropitakia cheese pies. Now, these just come out of the oven, so they're really hot. But have a look at them. They're really nice. They're very light. I'll break one up. Probably a bit too hot. Whew, that is hot. Look at that. Beautiful. Might be a bit too hot to eat, but I'm game enough to give it a go. Oh, beautiful. There you have it, folks. Fluffy Tiropitakia. You asked for it, I showed you how to make them. You give it a go. Orexi. I see people like my pie. I see they want to know how. I'm gonna make Tiropitakia fluffy and tasty like me. Oh, don't go out today. I'm bound to show you how Tiropitakia made today. Yeah, don't go out today. I'm gonna show you how Tiropitakia made today.